And I would like to invite you, Ambassador, to talk to us.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Alice, for that very good introduction. Thank you so much for welcoming us. I want to greet everybody and welcome you again once more to the Youth in Africa Grassroots Leadership Program. This is a program that we have to just get to inspire and leadership within us as youth across Africa. Because if there is one area that our governments, our countries have failed, is on the area of leadership. And we believe that leadership must start from the very grassroots. Where is the grassroots? The grassroots is where you are. Wherever you are is the grassroots, and we need to see leadership there. And we believe that you as a young person, you are a leader in your own capacity, it's your own level. You have the ability to lead. So it is the capacity to lead that we usually develop. And that is what we do in this program. That is what we do as an organization. And I know our moderator here has done a great job to just tell us a little bit of what we do. And I know that those of us joining in, please, when you join in, I kindly request that you mute. And we are going to be having a conversation today on, as Ambassador Alice is saying, on the importance of us as young people having a conversation or taking charge of our economic status of our countries. And the state as it is today is that our countries, if you're from Kenya or logging in from South Africa or logging in from the Gambia or logging in from Egypt, our governments are in heavy debt. We are in economic shackles. And we need to be able, if we are going to free ourselves from these shackles, then we must have a conversation. We must do something drastic, something radical as a youth, because our countries are very youthful countries. You know, if you look the statistics of youth in Africa, the population, you'll find we are about 70%, 70, give or take 5, you know, 70% really. Of the population in our countries is basically youth. So if there is anyone who is going to liberate our continent from the economic shackles, foreign debt, it's got to be youth. It's got to be youth, and we need to give it up to our forefathers in history, our leaders so far, because they were able to liberate us from the hands of the colonialists. You know, about half a century ago, at least they got a political freedom. At least we got a political freedom, but it was devoid of economic freedom and economic emancipation. And that is what we must do. That is the work we must do in our generation. They did that in their generation. We are enjoying the fruit of what they did. But then moving on, we have a duty to do as youth in this century and in this generation. So what is it that we must do? And I like what you're saying here. I see Cyprian. Munyi, I think you're from Kenya. You're saying the reason why we must engage in this conversation is that so as we are able to grasp entrepreneurship opportunities, to be innovative and creative for sustainable development among youth. Yes, please keep on sharing. Keep on sharing. Isenge, I see. Yeah, and I know you're from Ambassador Isenge. I know you're from the DRC. You're saying economic is the power. You have a lot of friends here. Financial independence is the core of all independence. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true. And Ambassador Nelson Witter, you're saying so as to be financially independent. And that's exactly the conversation we want to have here. For us to be able to build independence as youth and even in our society, so that we are not just all the time, we are stretching out hands in foreign donors. You know, we have something these days, you know, since we are very entrepreneurial as youth in Africa, we have something, you know, we are starting startups here and there, SMEs, we have some small businesses, we are becoming very entrepreneurial, very good. If you have a business, that's very good, we commend you. And then we have something we are calling Black Startups White Money. Black Startups White Money, because it is you find it is even this foreign companies and innovation hubs that will come in and they'll come and invest in our startups. So who still controls, and when does this stop, really? And when do we build independence? Surely. Yet we are one of the wealthiest, I think the wealthiest continent in Africa. This is a conversation that we must have, and I want to thank each and every one of us who are here. Please, we are live on our Facebook page at Youth in Africa. If you just check Youth in Africa, we are live on our Facebook page. We are also live on P.L.O Lumumba Facebook page. If you just search P.L.O Lumumba, you'll find we are online. Let's keep on engaging. Our guest will be coming in exactly in 9 minutes time. 9 minutes time. So I just want to engage. I see so many of us who are here, and I see Rose. I see Alfred.
Ati?
Can I request that we mute? I cannot request that we mute as we come in. Yeah, we are so happy that I see that so many of us who are logging in online. I see so many of us. Please, as you come in, mute. Kindly just mute, because so that we can hear each other well. And we are really excited that even our guest is already here. So we are very happy. And but let me say also, for those of us, because to just resound what our moderator was saying, that as Youth in Africa, our focus really is building skills, building relevant skills in the 21st century, so that we make sure that we are more independent, we can be more competitive and resourceful. I mean, if you can be these three things as a young person, we are speaking about progress, we are speaking about an independent Africa, and this is what we really must build. So we are honored to have our guest with us. I'll be introducing him. I have to read his citation, but I want us to please keep on engaging, just because it's good that also our guest speaker gets to see some of our views. It's very important. So please, thank you, Dio Masango. Let's know the country that you're coming in from, and you're saying that we are indeed a wealthy continent, and I believe as Africa, that Africa can sustain itself. Yes, how can Africa survive without debt? That's also like in the line of what you're speaking about. How can we survive without debt, or at least without foreign debt? Because we can also fund ourselves. I believe that we have what it takes to fund ourselves as nations. How can Africa survive without foreign debt? That's a good conversation. I see there you're saying you're from South Africa. Please let us know the country you're logging in from. As an organization, we have presence in 42 countries across Africa. We have about 17 countries where we have fully fledged chapters. So feel free to reach out to us to be part of it as well. So I think those are my short remarks. At this point, I want to, because our guest will not be with us for the full time. So, he'll just engage us for a little while. He has a very busy schedule, but he made time for us because he's very passionate about young people. He's very passionate about empowering the youth. So he made time for us. So I'm just going to, without much ado, because he's already here, I'll just read his citation, and then we can be able to continue from there. So what I'll encourage us is just keep your insights, your comments, your questions coming in, so that even as our guest goes on, he's going to be touching on some of these things. And then I hope and I pray that we'll get actionable. I know for sure we'll get actionable, practical things that we can do. We don't just want this to be a conversation that ends up here. It was nice. We had a Prof, P.L.O speak to us. It was very nice. Now we want practical insights and things that we can do. So this is what really we must do. Thank you very much, VP Kemani. You're from Kenya. You see, by manufacturing our own products instead of exporting raw materials. Thank you, cheaply, and then buying them at a more expensive price. Very true. I think there's a lot that we must do. I think even as government, in terms of incentivizing some of the key sectors so that we are able to do a lot more in the value chains than just exporting raw products like coffee. You all know about the coffee story. If I give the coffee story in Kenya or even the tea, we need to be able to do the processing ourselves, so that, I mean, what you're saying is very true. When we do the processing, the export, I think we are able to get much more than just exporting raw products and getting, really having to buy them again very expensively. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me go to, I'll just read it. The citation is long, but I'll just read a little bit of it. So our guest today is the one and only. He is, I think, the most progressive Pan-African that we have, and we are really proud that we're really proud he's here, and he's also from Kenya. Everywhere, you just go to his pages or his website, YouTube, P.L.O Lumumba, you will get to see the kind of work that he does in empowering youth and really having a sober Africa, and so he's a professor. Professor P.L.O Lumumba is a professor of public law. He's a holder of a doctorate, Doctor of Laws, on the law on the sea, of the sea from the University of Ghent, Belgium. He has a Master of Laws degree and Bachelor of Laws degree from the University of Nairobi. He also holds an honorary degree of Doctor of Letters from the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. He's a Doctor of Science from Bells University of Technology in Nigeria. He has been trained on human rights at the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, University of London in England, humanitarian law at the Raoul Wallenberg Institute of the University of Lund in Sweden, and on international humanitarian law in Geneva, Switzerland. He's an advocate of the High Courts of Kenya and Tanganyika and a certified mediator. He is a fellow of the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries of Kenya, a fellow of the Kenyan Institute of Management, and honorary fellow of the African Academy of Sciences. Oh my God, this is huge. His citation is really, really huge. He's the author of several books and numerous articles, and he has received several local and international awards, and is the distinguished Mwalimu Julius Nyerere Lecturer at the University of Dar es Salaam for 2014. And he has been recognized as one of the 100 most influential Africans in 2017 and 2020. I mean, I can't finish reading his citation, but he is also the founder of the P.L.O Lumumba Foundation, where he does a lot in youth empowerment. We are honored to have you today. Our tagline in Africa is that Africa will be great in our time. And we believe, Prof, that one of the ways that Africa will be great is when youth in Africa takes the mantle in an economic revolution. So please, with a lot of applause. Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a rather elaborate introduction.
Thank you, Prof.
Let me congratulate you for putting together this conversation in which I will participate by sharing my thoughts about the role of young people, particularly in the arena of the economy. As you appreciate, Africa has been recognized as the youngest continent on earth, which means that we have a young, vibrant population, and there are those who that can be a dividend, but it depends on how we use that dividend. It is also, and that use of the word tourist simply means that we are we have not harnessed our resources, because in fact, it is therefore a paradox that the richest continent on earth is the home to some of the poorest people on earth. We are also recognizing that we are the most fragmented continent on earth, divided into 55 odd countries, each of which is pulling in the wrong direction many of the times. It is equally important that we are the most dependent continent on earth. We are the continent that depends on pittance from Europe, progressively Asia, and the United States of America, and countries in the conceptual West, such as Australia and New Zealand. The net effect is that we are not masters of our destiny. We still hold the view that we will be liberated economically through collaboration with the Bretton Woods institutions, through collaboration with the French, with the European Union, with the British and the Americans, and that is a lie. That is not the way it is designed. There is no way in which a former slave owner will want the former slave to be at his or her level. The idea is to lull you into a false sense of security so that you have an appetite that is sharpened for the things that he grows and makes, but you never ever reach where you desire to reach. And that is why Kwame Nkrumah was very right when he spoke in the 60s, when he said, wherever there is economic dependence, there is no freedom. Wherever there is economic dependence, there is no freedom. And it is in that regard that Kwame ought to have been understood when he said, seek ye first the political kingdom, and the rest shall be given unto you. His idea was that we needed to break our chains of enslavement. And after we had broken those chains, it was necessary that we work the land, that we harness our resources, that we use our intellectual firepower in order to ensure that we realize our potential. The tragedy, of course, is that this has not happened in a manner as robust as we would desire. And of course, there is no shortage of analysis about this, about how the imperialists contributed and continue to contribute to it. There is no shortage of analysis how the colonial project is still alive through the neo-colonial project. But one of the things that we must recognize is that within the period when we have enjoyed regaining our independence, Africa has also been the home to some of the most ruthless individuals who are Africans, who have served to undermine our countries to the detriment of our young people. It is in this regard that I can explain the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is the richest resource country in the continent of Africa, the size of Western Europe, and ironically and paradoxically, one of the poorest nations on earth. It is in this regard that I can explain the situation in the entire Sahelian region, where we are generating refugees and we have institutions which are undermined because of insurgency and because of radicalization leading to terrorism. So that analysis is there. What we now want to ask ourselves is, what can we do and what must we do going forward in order not to be residents of rooms of lamentation, because we have resided in the rooms of lamentation for too long. It is time that we walked out of those rooms and entered into the arena of work and prosperity, so that Africa and her young people can use their intellectual wherewithal to make Africa great again, because Africa has had her period of glory, her golden years, which we must reclaim. And I am under no illusion that it can and must be done. But there is a logic to the economy. Economy is logic. And therefore, when we want to address economic issues, we must deploy logic. No amount of prayer and fasting is going to change our economic circumstances. The things that require effort demand that we must make effort. And we must make effort in an organized and a programmatic manner. We must identify the areas of our intervention. Luckily, in the world today, there is a sense in which these have been identified. The Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 of them, do point us in some kind of what I call the true socio-economic and political true north. That is the direction that we should face. The Africa Agenda 2063 and the 7 pillars also tell us what it is that we must do, whether it is in the area of culture, whether it is in the area of innovation, whether it is in the area of agriculture, whether it is in the area of mining. The agenda is pretty much identified. And I believe that young people have the opportunity to engage in this area. Let me just give you an example. Do you know that the football leagues in Europe combined generate more funds than the entire sub-Saharan Africa, excluding South Africa, football only, which young people watch gleefully every other day, praising European teams? How is it not possible that we ourselves are not capable of organizing sports in a manner that it becomes something that generates funds for our continent? Why can't we have Mfulira Wanderers in Zambia, St. George's in Ethiopia, Kaiser Chief and Orlando Pirates, and all these teams playing in Africa and generating funds with the accompanying things? Yet we are quick to pay money and to bet with institutions in Europe and America. The youth can participate in that arena. What about music? Music is a multi-million-dollar industry. Why do you buy music? I'm not saying that music has any boundaries, but why are you attracted to European artists and American artists? Why can't we have artists in the continent of Africa and pay them in the millions so that music becomes an industry which is a multi-billion industry? What about the movies? Why should we continue to, the ladies watching grade B Mexican soap operas which are subtitled, instead of watching movies which have African flavor from Nollywood or Bongowood or from Riverwood? That is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why can't we go into middle-level value addition in the realm of agriculture? Why can't we do that? Why must we have in some African countries McDonald's? Why can't we have our own? Why can't we have our own Kentucky? Why should Kentucky Fried Chicken be marketing in Africa, and the chicken is not even from Kentucky? It is just a name. Why should Glovo from Spain be the one that is delivering goods in Nairobi, Kenya, in Abuja? Glovo, using our young men and women on Okadas and borders, and Kekes in Banjul, and in Monrovia, and in Dakar, and in La Côte d'Ivoire, and in other parts of the country. Glovo from Spain. Why should Jumia from France be the one that is delivering food for us in African capitals? Can't we do it? Why should we hail Bolt, which is from Estonia in Eastern Europe, to take taxis which are owned and driven by our young people? Why should Uber from San Francisco be the one that is telling our drivers what to charge? I mean, the opportunities are legion. And the people that I'm talking about behind these economic activities are young people in their 30s. Why can't you do it? And why are our governments not supporting African young men and women in a robust way? Stop this nonsense that you see many African countries doing by giving young people 50,000 shillings in Kenya. What is 50,000? Nonsense. You've got to have clear programmatic agenda for ensuring that the youth are involved. And I'm talking about very mundane things. What about in the area of innovation and invention? I'm very happy now that I'm seeing people, the government of Rwanda, there are quite a number of African governments that are doing good things. I think the government of Rwanda is doing some useful things. The government of Ghana is doing some useful things. The government of Tanzania, even the government of Kenya, I think there are certain areas in which they are making useful contribution to young men and women in the procurement arena. It could be better. And I'm not mentioning all of them. In South Africa, in Botswana, in Namibia, in a number of countries, things are beginning to happen. But I'm saying that these are baby steps and that the engagement ought to be beyond tokenism, because some of these engagements are tokenists. Women are making noise. Let's give them a little so that their mouths are full so that they don't make noise as we eat properly. I'm not talking about tokenism. I'm talking about real engagement. And when you are dealing with youth, I'm also talking about real engagement. I want to see young Africans being engaged in a manner that will make them begin to earn the dividends of the fourth industrial revolution. And when I talk about the fourth industrial revolution, the internet space, I want, when we talk about Internet of Things, and let it not be forgotten that M-Pesa, which now dominates the world, was birthed in Kenya. That tells you what is achievable. I would want to hear Africans coming with their own mode. We are now using Zoom. I want to see the Zoom version from Africa. And Africans will say, this is what we want to use. Look at the money that Zoom has made during this period. Look at the money that Amazon has made during this period. Look at the money that YouTube has made during this period. You and me are gleefully enjoying ourselves and holding this conference on a platform that is not our own. The Chinese are not doing that. They are their own. The South Koreans have their own. The Japanese have their own. But we are busy consuming what we do not produce and producing what we do not consume. The generation to which I belong is a generation that has underperformed. It is a generation that has punched below her weight in all the sectors. It is your generation that must now rescue Africa. And there is no time to waste. They remember that youth is not a permanent state. Even you, in a few years, you'll no longer be youth. So the question is, what are you doing between now and when you cease to be youth in the manner that is internationally recognized at age 35? And I'm saying, don't look for big bang solutions. I am saying village by village. Let it be that in your own immediate environment, you are doing things that change people's lives. You are not a leader unless you have changed the lives of at least 10 people. Change them positively. If you claim you're a leader, show me 10 human beings who can give a testimony in your absence and saying that if it were not for Sarah Munyi, then my circumstances would have been different. The day you show me that, you Peter Koech, you tell me that you have 10 young men and women that you have mentored. You, Nelson Mwita, tell me that you have young men and women that you've mentored. Then don't tell me you are a leader. Leadership is about changing the quality of people's lives by empowering them. And empowering people means that you must produce people who are better than you, better than you. And somebody is asking, what is the single project that can be implemented in Africa? The single project that can be implemented in Africa for all the youth is mental decolonization. That is the single project. Once you've decolonized the minds of young people, the rest will follow. That is the single project. Decolonize your mind. Because once you decolonize your mind, it means that you are now mentally liberated. And when a man is mentally liberated, then there is no shortage to what a man or a woman can do. Many of you will remember this famous French thinker, René Descartes, when he said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. The day you stop thinking, then you are not. So that is why, to me, mental liberation is the beginning of all else. And then once your mind is liberated, then you will be in agriculture. Once your mind is liberated, then you are in the economy, then you are in all these other sectors. So ladies and gentlemen, my contribution is to urge you that meetings such as these in future ought to be meetings whose only function is to monitor and evaluate, so that after 3 months when we meet, we are able to have testimonies from Sarah. Sarah will tell us, during the 3 months that we have been out, this is what I have done. I can now feed, and I've enabled people, 10 people to feed themselves. I've enabled 5 people to get into innovation, and they are now making shoes. I've enabled this and this, such a person to do these, and they are doing things in their immediate communities. Peter Koech says that, Nelson says that, somebody from Accra, Ghana says that, so that is testimony. And when we compile a book, it is a book of testimonies from all the 55 countries in the continent of Africa, so that no young African will ever go to the United States of America to seek the green card. I look forward to that day, to the day when no young African seeks the green card. They only go to the United States of America to engage on an equal term, on an equal basis with their counterparts. How I look forward to those days. How I hope that this engagement will be the engagement when that will begin. How I hope that next year, now that we are talking about economy, when the Africa Continental Free Trade Area begins to operate, that this meeting will be a meeting that will generate a document of engagement, which tells Wamkele Mene and his group in Accra, Ghana, this is how young Africans want to work with you for purposes of opening the economic opportunities in Africa. Recently, a young girl sent me some items of clothing from Nigeria through DHL, which is German postal. Why should DHL be sending us things in Africa? Why should FedEx be doing that? Why should UAP be doing that? Are there not young Africans who can start? And you don't have to start it in an African way. You can start in East Africa, start in ECOWAS, start in SADC, you start in Central African Republic. And do you know how long it took? Express, it took 2 weeks for the items of clothing to land on my desk from Abuja in Nigeria. How I wish your generation can engage Africa Continental Free Trade Area so that my good leaves Abuja in Nigeria at 7 a.m. in the morning, and at 2 p.m. in Nairobi, Kenya, I'm able to receive those goods. That you receive an item from Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and that item is then delivered in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, and I receive something from Bambane, and that item is received in Lilongwe, that I receive something from Niamey in Niger, and is received the same day in Djibouti. Those are possibilities. I'm not talking about another planet. It is happening in Europe, it is happening in America, it is happening in Asia. Why can't we do it? So, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stop here in the knowledge that the very fact that you are organized in this way is indeed a testament to the fact that you are concerned about Africa, and that there is fire under your belly, and that you want to make a contribution to this great continent. It shall come to pass.
Wow, thank you so much, Prof. We really appreciate that very insightful contribution. And you have asked us so many questions. And I think sometimes as young people, we need people who can really stand or can look at us from a vantage point and really point us some things, you know. So thank you so much for those insights. And you have mentioned several things because you have actually mentioned some of the innovations, Jumia, Global, all of these innovations that, you know, we then, you know, look for jobs, you know, in these organizations. You know, you have mentioned about Global, Jumia, delivering food on my doorstep in Nairobi, really, when we can do the same and we have the same creative ability that we can be able to use. I think those are some of the things we must challenge each other to really think innovatively. And that's why we're really grateful even for the M-Pesa invention. At least we can say we have something from Kenya or even from Africa, but we need 100 of those. If we have 54 of those, at least one from every country, and I know we have many examples, I think we'll be on a good path, you know, as a youth and even as a continent to be able to liberate ourselves economically. So you've spoken about innovation. You've also said it's not about you know, big bang, coming up with big bang theories. It's just, you know, improving a process here and there. It doesn't necessarily have to be an invention, but if we can improve a process and just be able to make a certain industry better, then we will be growing our countries and economies. Thank you very much. I see we have so many of this. Most of us are engaging. I know you'll not do with us much, but I just want to read just a few insights that are coming in, and then we'll be able. I see so many from DRC, from South Africa. Thank you so much, all of you who have been writing. And I see Dr. Danashava King. Oh, we are so happy that you are here. Dr. King is actually a Queen Mother from Ghana. She's concur that Africa must return to her greatness. Yes, it can and must be done. The minds of our youth must be fed to obtain freedom and not to be satisfied with the status quo. Thank you very much. I really also talking about mental decolonization. For sure, that is where it must start, mental liberation, and that's why we need some PLO in here. We need some routines and sobriety for us to be able to create, and really, you know, get our countries on a different path of growth and prosperity. So we thank you very much, Prof, for your insights. And one thing you have said, I must say this, Prof, before you go. One thing you have said is that we need to have actionable documents. When we are having like some of these committees being organized by the African Union, you have said that it's important, like even as an organization or youthful organizations, we also contribute. We come up with an actionable document that we can submit to the African Union, or even to the United Nations, or even to our parliament, session of papers. And that's part of what we do as Youth in Africa. We write, you know, we write, we feel this bill, this youth bill doesn't really represent us, and we write, because that is how we write our future. That is how we rewrite, you know, our history. That is how we effect our future and we create it. So I think that is very, very key for us, so that we don't just come out of this conversation and say, oh, it was very good. I think for us as an organization also, we will think about contributing even on the at African Union, and really looking at some of this, some of the things that they are doing for the youth, and see how we can be able to contribute. So thank you very much for that input as well. And we have so many messages coming in right now. I'm not able to read all of them, but Dennis, I'll just speak out. Dennis, you're saying powerful speech from a powerful African made up in Kenya. Thanks, P.L.O. Looking forward. Okay, for a one-on-one. Thank you very much. We have so many of these that I can't read all of them. We have so many of these. Thank you so much, everybody. And So we really appreciate that, Prof. I just want to encourage us kindly, let's continue with this conversation. And I believe that we'll be able to come up with actionable, like what Prof has already proposed to us. We come up with actionable steps that we can do. So from the insights that we have received from Prof, let's see, he has given us one proposal. What is the other thing that we can really do? Like, if I live here, I will go and do. You know, let us just share from, I know we are from different countries, let us just share that so that we are able to help each other. We don't just come out of this meeting, you know, just with a nice testimony that Prof showed to us, you know. Please let us share. We're going to have this conversation for a short while. Mr. Jellican, you are asking what is mental liberation though? And I think, well, Prof has really, I think has elaborated a little bit. And he's saying that it's basically having another mindset. It's changing our attitude that we must be helped, that, you know, this global Jumia, I mean, it has to be like that, you know. It's really changing our mindset and looking at ourselves as creators and as creators of our destiny, basically. So it's taking charge and being responsible. And so I think that's what I guess my contribution and what mental liberation is. But I want to invite, I see we have Dr. King, Dr. Tanashaba, if you can just unmute yourself, because I see you're engaging us, and I know your level of engagement and experience with youth empowerment in Kenya, Ghana, and even across the continent. If you can just unmute yourself and say something, if you're ready, we'll be very happy. Let me know if you can be able to do that.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mom.
Okay. First off, let me thank you for inviting me to this session. Anywhere PLO is, Queen Mother wants to be. I just have to say that. When I moved to Kenya, and I spent some time first I started working with the Kenyan government in empowerment areas. And then I was taken over to a place called USIU. And I began to call that place the jewel in the jungle. And I said, Lord, if I got to work in Africa, please let me work here. And my request was answered. And I wound up getting a contract to actually do work at USIU. And I got involved across the board on many levels and with many of the young people. And that's where my focus was. And that's why I learned about this gentleman, Professor P.L.O Lumumba. And we invited him to campus, and he came time after time after time again. So, Professor, I want to thank you for encouraging our students, not only at the USIU Africa campus, but the campuses all over Africa. And the things that you're saying today, oh yes, we gotta get into the mindset of our young people. Now, I remember as a child growing up, the Black church played a very important role in our life. And that's where we would go to hear the teachings of liberation from whoever would bring them forth. And it was not always people like Dr. King or Dr. Shuttlesworth or Dr. Abernathy. They were people like Karenga, Ron Karenga, who was teaching us about Kwanzaa, and others in the community. So one of the things I like to see happen again is for us, Professor Lumumba, to have a cadre of trainers who can begin to speak to our young people and speak truth of liberation into their minds. I mean, we had the Farrakhan's of the world and others, and I want to see some of that here. And I know that I think in my mind, that's part of what may be happening inside of the youth empowerment programs that you're working with. And I stand to work with you and my sister, my daughter, my entrepreneur, my young woman. I am so proud of you, Sarah, and I am here to support you two in all the things that you're doing in all the countries that you're doing it in. This is what we have to do. You see, Professor, it was time for me to come out of the university and take it to the streets. And in taking it to the streets, I run into people like Sarah and others. So this is where our playground is to work with our young people. And I'm glad for this opportunity. And I look for more and more and more. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. King. We really appreciate it. And Dr. King, by the way, is a Queen Mother. in Ghana, but she's in Nairobi right now. Yeah, so thank you so much for your input, and you know what you have been doing, your passion really in empowering you. Thank you very much. I know we've been engaging you a lot as an organization. And I just want to call up a few people as we wrap up this conversation. I thank all of, by the way, I thank you for your insights. I'm seeing Dickens, you're saying that in my own way, I've been able to mobilize some of my fellow villagers. I can just request as you come in, just mute. Okay, good. So Dickens, you're saying, Dickens, I'm assuming you're from Kenya. In my own way, I've been able to mobilize some of my fellow villagers at home in County, Kenya, to come up with a project that have made most young people to be self-reliant during, to be self-reliant during this corona pandemic. Oh, fantastic. I think each and every one of us here should be able to do something that benefits our country. You're very right. And that this is what PLO has actually just pointed out, that if you regard yourself as a leader and you have not been able to change at least 10 people's lives, affect them positively, produce people who are even better than you, then I'm not sure you are a leader or an effective one for that matter. So I'm really glad of what you are doing. And this is what we are saying. This is really the conversation that you're speaking about. When, as an organization, when we train you on skills, whether it's a leadership skill or it's a skill in entrepreneurship, you know, whatever kind of skill it is, if you can be able to teach that, duplicate that, multiply that, to tell you have your area of influence, then we have done, I think we have, that's how we grow, you know, because there are people, let me tell you, for you to be here and make today's meeting, you are somewhere in life doing very well. Yeah, because there's so many youth who don't have the kind of advantage that you have, even to have like connection, have a smartphone, or even have a laptop. You must be somewhere in life doing very well. There's a youth who can't manage that. And perhaps they're in your village, you can be able to reach them. So that's why we usually say, that's why we usually say that each one teach one. Each one teach one. Whatever it is that you learn, even some of the insights that you learn here, teach one. And it's good. I love the way Prof has really challenged us on some of the things that we must do and really must think hard for us to be able to create a future and create a continent that we really want to be proud to hand over to our children and children. So I want to invite a few people, just 2 or 3 as we wrap up. If you really want, you have a hot issue you'd like to address, we have youth from very many countries here. Please just lift up your hand. Just lift up your hand, and then I'm just gonna call you up. But I wanted to ask if Ambassador Nompumelelo is here from South Africa. Ambassador Nompumelelo, are you here? If you can hear me, you can just unmute yourself and give your comments as well. Okay, Ambassador Nompumelelo. Okay, somebody else doesn't have, if you're not ready, it's fine. This is not a conversation of one person, and I know you've been writing a lot. And Anil, I see you. Albert, I see you. James, I see you. If you have something that you'd want to say or an action point that you think we must really take, then feel free. Just raise up your hand or just indicate to me so that I call you up. Thanks. Or Dickens, yeah, Dickens, feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I've already unmute myself.
Okay, can you just turn on your video so that at least you put a face to the name? Thank you.
Yes, I'm Dickens.
Yeah, very good.
Dickens from Kenya.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I was I would like only to talk about the point that Professor said.
Yes.
On the maybe putting an effort to assist other youths who are not capable or maybe coming up with an idea. Most of us who are maybe have gone to school, we are at the very heart of assisting others who have not maybe have the idea of how to improve themselves. Like for my case, I was at home during the pandemic. I just have a short story that I can share with you people so that you may get to know, like most of us, we are doing something, though at the grassroots level. You are getting me?
Okay, yes, go ahead, please, briefly. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, during the corona pandemic, I was at home in somewhere in Siaya County in Kenya. So actually, we have a lake. So I went at home and I found from school, I found many young people who have got the capability or they have money, they get a lot of money from the lake, but they don't know how to maybe utilize the money that they always get. So what I did is that I came up with an organization like a TBO, and that we create an account. We are saving them. I made them to form an office. They save the money. So after like 3 months, they were capable maybe to raise over 20,000. And that 20,000, they started a project of selling fish to places, drylands. And that one has helped many of them who are not capable maybe to build their own houses. Right now, people are moving somewhere. So I'm urging most of us who have ideas, don't sit back with your idea. If you have an idea that can help some people somewhere, walk out of that your place, then speak out to others. There are potential youths who don't know how to utilize what they have.
Okay.
So that's the urge that I have to many people.
Wow, thank you, Dickens. Thank you, Dickens, for what you're doing. That's amazing. That's really amazing. And we want to commend you, and please keep on doing it. Let us know how we can be able to assist you as an organization, as Youth in Africa. That's amazing. You know, that's what we want to see most. So, Hongera, Hongera, thank you for sharing. I want to call up Ambassador Nompumelelo from Durban, South Africa. Please feel free to unmute yourself and put on your video. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I do apologize. I'm in such a not so good place. So I'm hoping that everyone will be okay with me just speaking. But firstly, I would like to say thank you to Professor Lumumba for such an inspiring message. You know, when I was sitting down and listening, the thing that was just echoing in my ears is that we have to the importance of mental liberation. That's where we need to begin. So I'm just here to comment and just to also encourage my fellow African entrepreneurs that if you really want your business to finally happen, we have to go beyond a dream. We have to be brave. Without bravery, our dreams will just wither like a thin tree in the sun and heat. We must learn to conquer fear. I mean, that's like the thing that just keeps echoing in my ears, that as we continue, you know, our business are suffering, you know, due to what happened during this pandemic, but we need to conquer fear. That no matter what happened, we need to stand and remain. And you know, and just really this agency that Professor Lumumba just pushed us on, that this is our time. We're not waiting for anybody else. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for your insights. Thank you for your insights. And you're saying that we are the ones we are waiting for ourselves. If I've got you very well. We are the ones we have been waiting for. Oh, amazing, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah, thank you for your insights right there. I want to call up several people as well. And I know you're a published author, actually, you're an international author as well. And you have been doing a lot to encourage young people to really bring out their stories out there to the world, you know, so to really know your work is really empowering, and being able to tell African stories, because our stories are not told. somebody else tells our stories. We need to tell our own stories. Thank you for coming through in that way for Africa. We have Ambassador Stephen Kamau. You want to say something? I'll just invite one more person, and then we'll, Albert Nation as well. Ambassador Anael Masasi from Tanzania. Let me know. Then we will close this. We have Dio. I don't know if Dio is here. I think his hand was up. But and also
Hello, Sarah.
Tunde or Mitogun. Tunde, you have to speak to us from Nigeria. You are doing a lot of things, and that will really benefit you here. Yes, please.
Yes. So
Turn on your video on, please.
yeah. Okay. So
Albert, could you please just turn on your video? Okay, thank you.
yes, I hope you can get me now.
Yes, we can.
Yes, so good afternoon, young people. I know it's such an important platform to be able to have experience and listen to what Daktari and a few other prominent people have put together. And my only thing would be, I know many years ago, we came from what we call talk shops, workshops, and now we are moving into action. And I'm so impressed by what Ambassador Sarah has been able to pull off together, because if you listen to what P.L.O talked about, we need to really just, decolonization of the mind is about action. And I think I asked one question, which I was hoping that P.L.O would be able to help us respond to, is that how as African youths do we take leadership? Because unless you're sitting at the table, you'll always be finding yourself in the public gallery, you know, and those who make decisions will never make decisions to favor young people. And so even with the Dr. King and what she has said is very prominent. So as young people, when you hear P.L.O very angry that we are being given 50,000 Kenya shillings to start projects, while that would be cool, what would you do with 50,000 shillings that can take impact globally? So we need to position ourselves, and leadership is what we start off with. Without good leadership, we will always be moved to what I keep on hearing people talking about, a hustler society or a hustler nation. We don't need to be hustling in Africa today. We want to take leadership, do greater things, and let our youth bulge impact in terms of numbers, reach out there and be able to make an impact. So I'm looking forward to better days. Sarah, thank you so much for this platform. And I know that for sure, if our young people take action on leadership, let's not wait to be given. Let's not wait to be called. Let's not wait for offers. Go and seize leadership. Somebody will never let it go for you until you prove you are worth it. So let us support this process and make a big difference. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to be part of better days ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Albert, for that insight. And you have said actually what we need to do is really move from talk shops, workshops into action. I'll carry that with me. Thank you very much for that. That's very true. I want to call up someone else. Tunde, Ambassador Tunde, are you ready? If you're ready, yes.
Hello. Okay.
Yes.
Just give me 5 minutes so that my video will be on. Then I'll be ready for you. In 5 minutes time, I'll come on back online.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so we have Ambassador Anael, your youth leaders across the continent. You know, so I'm just giving, and we have Gofaone. I know you're from Botswana. Yes. Thank you. Those of us who are you're still giving us your insight. You see, what we do is that when you write, we also compile some of the things that you're writing. We compile. We go through this team, and then we are able to look at some of the things that you're saying, and we can be able to include them, you know, as we are coming up with some programs. So thank you so much. Thank you, those of us. Yes, thank you, Albert. And Oh my God, your comments are very many. I'm not able to read all of them. I'm not able to read all of them. But I think you're just thanking P.L.O. But we'll then go through them and see some of the things that you've come up with or you're suggesting. You know, yeah. So thank you everybody for your contributions and even for listening. I really want to charge each one of us that after this conference or the many Zooms you are having, there's some people, you know, we said, I have been so busy, I don't want any Zoom. But I hope that you've been able to come up with some actionable things that will transform your life. Because I always say, if knowledge is power, then power is applied knowledge. That knowledge being applied. You know? So please let us use some superpower come 2021. That is in your life, because when you progress as a person, as a young person, a village, a family will progress, a society will progress, and a nation will progress. So that's what we are speaking about. As youth, this is it. As youth, actually, we just have, Sunday, let me know when you're ready. But as youth, we stand at the middle of two generations. We are supporting two generations. We are trying to do everything to support ourselves first. Then we are also supporting our parents. Then we are also supporting, you know, we have small families. Yeah, so we are supporting like 2 to 3 generations. So we have a lot to do to be able to have that kind of stability. And if we don't have economic stability, we are not doing well. Society is not doing well, you know. So that's why it's very important for us to come up with some of these, you know, ideas, business ideas, so that we can be able to support ourselves. And I'm hoping soon they just come in. If you are not able to turn on your video, just speak from the audio so that we can continue with the program. Tunde, if you can hear me. Tunde, can you hear me? Okay, I don't think he can hear me. All right, so I think invite but the to do you can definitely your remarks as well as give us a vote of thanks. So
Sarah, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
okay. Oh, my apologies. Okay, Ambassador Alice, can you hear me? Ambassador Alice, can you let me know if you can hear me? Okay, okay. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I had muted. So I want to thank each one of us. Ambassador Tunde, let me know if you now you don't have to use your video. You don't have to use your video, you can just speak. So let me know if you're ready. Ambassador Alice, let me also know if you're ready so that you can be able to give us Facebook, our Facebook page, Youth in Africa. So You can find this meeting there, as well as P.L.O Lumumba's page. If you want to become the organization, you just heard about Youth in Africa today. You just you can indicate to us here on the chat, and then you can get to join the chapter in your country. Oh, I'm so sorry, Farai. I didn't realize I was actually offline. Okay, Jane, you are saying, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So you can be part of the organization. The next conference that we are going to be having, because this program, we have been running it in all the 54 countries across Africa, but this one was just for everybody. Last week, every week we have a program. Every week we have a program in a different country. So last week we were in Ghana. We did the program in Ghana. It was amazing. The other week we were in Ethiopia. We did the program in Ethiopia. The other week we did in Malawi. So this week we are going to be on Friday. Just speak of I want to invite you to Africa and take a tour of Africa, let you know the issues that are affecting you. Having a conversation with you, then they know what is happening. If you have been watching the news, you've been having a lot of you know, it's campaign period because they're going on elections. So we're having a conversation of how do we make sure that we have sustainable peace during the electioneering period. So it will be an interesting conversation every week. With that, we get to build our continent by engaging. So thank you so much, everybody. I see Tunde is not ready. Tunde, are you ready? If Tunde, are you ready? You can come in, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Hello?
now. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice to be here, and I've been enjoying your program. And it's actually a nice event that you have put together, and I will say very big congrats unto you. The main problem we have in Africa is there are just three things. One, the structure to thrive. Two, okay, the finances is still part of the structure. Three, the commitment and perseverance. And you can take the last one, which is the will to implement. This program, for instance, that you have put forward is a structure on its own. And nobody is devoid of ideas. Everybody has one idea or the other. Okay, like somebody said earlier, that we need to be bold, you need to be fervent and bold and go ahead, and don't be afraid to fail. If you fail, you try many times over. It's always the case. Now, from my own end, this is what we can do. If you have any good idea, register with Sarah, and any good idea, just give her your executive summary. We have a platform we're building, which she's involved to. We have institute, which she's involved to. And we have magazine, both digital magazine and in print, which she's involved to, that any of your ideas will broadcast it to the world. This is my idea. This is just make sure that whatever idea it is, within 3, 4, 5 years, whatever investment is done with you could be recouped. Once you have that, we'll publish your content worldwide. And once we have done that, people that will be interested in your idea, of course, some people will criticize your idea, some people will not go along with it. But then the thing is this, you only listen to that to improve on your idea. If you can do that and you have the commitment the boldness, and you are not afraid. It's working, it's not working, and you are not going to be getting, you are not going to be hungry if you are criticized, which is the main thing. Most of us cannot bear that pain when we are criticized that this is right, this is wrong. You might be right, people might say it's wrong. It doesn't mean that you should change. You should change your concept, but then try and look at it from their own perspective. That's how you improve on ideas. So let's bring you out. If you are a youth, you have fantastic ideas. Like African intelligence space, or they are not alien. They just thrive on structure. We will create the structure for you to thrive on, and then once you thrive on it, because once you are thriving on it, that's employment generation for other people too. Like the professor said, your youthfulness is not permanent. If you are 20, 18, 30, sooner or later, you'll be 50, you'll be 60. So do something, make hay while the sun shines, and let's all work together using Sarah's platform. It's all going to go well. It's all going to go well. It will go well. It's supposed to go well, because Africans are intelligent. We are bold. It's not that we are not bold. We're intelligent. It's not that we're not intelligent. Why will you live here when you go to Europe or you go to America, you thrive there, you know? But here, if you don't thrive, there will be great unemployment. In fact, what African countries is facing, what they are facing now is the large amount of unemployment. If you don't create companies, if I don't create companies, who are we going to employ? You know, so let's take the bull by the horns and let's strive and work together. Thank you. That would be all.
Okay, thank you very much, Tunde Omitogun from Nigeria. I know the kind of work that you are doing in really building the economics across Africa, and you have been working with partnerships actually to be able to have African products out there in Europe, in America, in Asia. We need to be able to do that. Thank you very much. And I think you have pointed out a very important point, because this is what happens. We go and look for work because we say, oh, there are no jobs in Kenya, there are no jobs in Benin, there are no jobs in South Africa. So we go and look for jobs in Dubai, in the Middle East, Qatar, all these countries, USA. We go get citizenship there, and then we are the ones who are used actually, to create these organizations out there like Facebook. You'll find it is Africans who are there doing all those innovations, yeah, at the Silicon Valley. Yeah, so Facebook, Apple, all of those businesses, you'll find most of the people who have built them are actually in Netherlands and from Africa. Then we have these technologies, or some of these products, in Africa, very expensive. When we can do the same here, we can do the same here. We can be able to do the Silicon Valley here. We can do another one in P.L.O, build another one in Banjul, build another one in Lilongwe. I think these are some of the issues that Prof was really speaking about, and I really want to commend each one of us who has come here, because I believe that you go get out of here with something actionable that you can do. And for me, if you can do much, make sure as a leader, just like Prof said, as a leader, you are able to mentor and make lives of 10 other people better. 10 other people better. That's the definition of a leader. If you can be able to do that, produce people who are better than you. If you can be able to produce people who are better, that they are doing better than you, then the world is a better place. Africa is a better place. Your country is a better place. And I think there are very many programs that we are having. I'm not sure I'll be able to speak about all of them here, because this was just a conversation we were having with Prof. We want you to be part of us so that we get to build our continent much together. So I want to give a vote of thanks. Ambassador, are you here? I hope you, if you're back, kindly let me know. I know you are having network issues at some point. Or if you can't hear me, so I want to thank each one of us. I have already given my some of our emails, contacts that you can contact us. Even on WhatsApp, we can add you into our group on Telegram or WhatsApp where we usually engage. Yes, and then we'll continue with at least, you know, you can get involved. You can get involved, you can be part of the network. I want to give them, I don't know if like, you know what, I don't know what happened to Ambassador Alice, if she was our moderator, but I will give a vote of thanks. I want to thank Prof very much for his input, for taking time and for really giving us this kind of insight. Thank you very much. I want to say, on the point where Ambassador Tunde from Nigeria was saying, please, if you have something like he was saying, if you have something you would want, you know, to be put it, you know, out there, I think just reach out to me and then I'll be able to connect you. Sure. Please, if you can be able to reach me, it will reach to me. So I want to thank our speaker very much today. I also want to thank each one of us who is here. You have come, you have taken the time. We really appreciate you, and I look forward to see you making impact in your society, in your village, in your country. And let us know how, in Africa, we can come in and support your cause, or at least partner with you. You can also be part of the organization. We thank you so much where you are. Thank you. Then, I think for this conference, we have the Youth in Africa heads of state. Some of them that were really involved. We have some who just couldn't log in because of connectivity issues. This is the other bit about connectivity. I think the next one we have to speak about connectivity because, you know, one of our main hosts could not log in because of connectivity. So thank you so much. And then also, last but not least, we must thank the one who makes all things possible, because man makes plans, but it is really the Lord who is possible for us and even for you to be here. We'd love to host you again. We can meet on Friday. If you check our Facebook page, Youth in Africa, Instagram, same with Twitter, you'll be able to see our you'll be able to see the details of the next conference that you'll have on Friday in Uganda. We're having a conversation with Youth in Africa in Uganda. So let's engage. Thank you very much, all of you who have come. And at this point, I want to end on a note of prayer. And I want to invite one of us to pray. I'll invite one of us to pray. So Ambassador Anael from Tanzania, can you hear me? If you can hear me, you can just unmute yourself and close your eyes. With a word of prayer. Ambassador Anael, can you hear me? If you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and pray for us. Or Betty Karaoke. Betty Karaoke, if you can hear me, just unmute yourself and make a closing prayer for us.
Sarah, I can pray.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, Betty, you can go ahead, or who?
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Yes, Betty.
Hello.
Yes, Betty, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much for such a wonderful program. I will request us to bow our heads and pray. Thank you, Father Lord, for such a wonderful program that we had. You have been with us. We have gained a new insight, Father King of Glory. We say thank you, Father King of Glory, as we ask you, Father, to help us so that we may use those insights in our life. In the name of Jesus' name we pray, shortly trusting and believing. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. This is our administrator in Africa. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. We look forward to see you in the next